Former Donald Trump trade advisor Peter Navarro has officially sued both the January 6th committee and the United States Department of Justice, from what I can tell, based on the subpoenas that they issued against him. So Peter Navarro is angry that he has been subpoenaed by, of course, both the Select Committee and the DOJ. And he says, you can't force me to turn over these documents. They're not even seeking testimony. They're just seeking documents. Like, just give us your files. He says, no, you can't do that, so I'm suing you to stop these things, even though, by the way, he was actually subpoenaed by the House in February. He failed to comply. The full House voted to hold him in contempt in April. That's been sitting at the DOJ for a couple months now, just waiting for them to go out and arrest him, which they haven't done, of course, just like they haven't arrested Mark Meadows. The only person who did get arrested, of course, was Steve Bannon. But nevertheless, Navarro says, you can't get me. Let me read this, because this is funny. The lawsuit lays out a similar argument as others that have challenged the committee, including a focus on its composition, and reiterates Navarro's earlier claims that as a former White House employee, he cannot be called to testify. Trump has not asserted executive privilege with respects to Navarro. So, Navarro's lawsuit argues, I can't testify because I worked in the White House. That's literally the worst legal argument you could come up with. And according to this, he's going to represent himself in the lawsuit. So that's going to be super fun. But you can be called to testify. Courts have already determined that. You moron. I mean, seriously, how dumb can this guy be? Like, you can't compel me to testify. I was in the administration. Well, buddy, why do you think they want you to testify? Because you were in the administration. Not only that, Trump didn't even exert executive privilege over you, so you 100% can be forced to testify. And even if he had exerted executive privilege over you, the courts have already ruled that that privilege alone lies with the current president, Joe Biden, and he has said he's not exerting a privilege over any of this. So even if he had, it wouldn't matter because it wouldn't be real, so you're going to have to produce these documents. And he knows that, right? He's not as dumb as I would like to think he is. I think he's still pretty dumb, but he's just not as dumb, What he's doing is delaying. That's all he wants to do. He wants to try to push this far enough down the road to where maybe Republicans can take back the House and kill the Select Committee. The composition, not actually murder them. That's what he's hoping for. That's what many people that have sued this committee are hoping to do. They're hoping to run out the clock. That is the only purpose of these lawsuits. Because, man, if Navarro thinks he's going to have any success in court, then he absolutely is kidding himself. Because the way he's filed these lawsuits, he basically set himself up for an embarrassing failure. This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.